All right, I'm going to work on a serious topic, so you better stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Put that away. Put that away. And, put aside your distractions. Go get a cup of coffee or some Coca Cola or a soda or some juice, whatever it is. So we're going to start right. Well, this is not working, obviously, so we're going to start right now. Okay, so I hope you're ready to kind of sit down and hash this one out with me. And this is for those who are in a wheelchair, recently in a wheelchair, have been in a wheelchair for a long time. Doesn't matter. Some of us slip into something called addictions. And that is very difficult because it begins to erode you. And that causes pain around you. People who care about you, your family, even your pets notice it. It starts to erode you. And that's what we need to kind of settle down and think about, how we're going to handle this situation. And I'm talking about, general addictions that we know about, gambling, alcohol, drugs of, prescription drugs as well. And other addictions that you might be aware of, such as, playing games, playing computer games, and you're just sucked into it. And there's no other world other than the electronic games. And that's a serious addiction, just like gambling. So it's really, really important for you to sit down and kind of think about, where are you at? How serious are these addictions for you? What is it affecting? What is it destroying? Because it could be you, could be relationships, could be, everything else is going down the tubes because of the addiction. So is it worth it? I'm afraid not. And yes, you're in a wheelchair. Yes, you're in pain. Yes, this sucks. I'm in a wheelchair myself. And I have to be careful with my behavior, how I think, how I deal with issues. And you might say, well, Lisa, how did I get here? Well, if you're new to using a wheelchair because you had an accident, you were in a car accident, you went bungee jumping, and something went wrong, any of those kind of things, you slipped, you fell, and that was it. You just did a crazy jump, a dare, and that was it. You're in construction and you fell, and that was it. And you're new to this, sitting in this wheelchair for hours on end. And, people look at you differently. Your relationships have, moved away from you. They don't call you. They don't visit you. And, you feel less than you were. You feel like life is over. And my comment to that is, it's not. It's not. Life will be what you make of it from the wheelchair. You haven't changed. You are the same person. You are the same gal. You are the same guy you were before the accident, before the incident, whether medical or physical. You're the same person. The only difference is you're using a tool to get around. And there are a few things that you won't be able to do anymore, but there's a whole lot of things you can do. So I know sometimes we sit there in our little puddle and we are sorry for ourselves and we want to forget about the whole thing and we begin in the addiction. And folks, that's not the way to go. Truly. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, if you want to push away people even farther, just go deeper into that addiction. Otherwise, you're going to have to start taking steps to get out of it. And that would require some counseling. Think about it. It's going to require some counseling and some words of wisdom to pull you out of the hole. If you've gotten to the bottom of the hole, then there is no other place to go other than up. But it requires a little bit of support. And that's with counseling. And there's no excuse at this point for you not to go to counseling because there's counseling online. I think it would be better for those in addictions to have it one-on-one, for it to be a little bit more real, because this is where you need to be, you know, recognize it, recognize the addiction, call it, you know, own it. Stop blaming. Own it. Nobody's to blame. Be real about it. Be real about your plan. Be real about who you're going to meet with to help you out. Because a lot of times you can't do it on your own. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can do that. I can stop this addiction anytime I want." Not true. Be real about it. Yeah, addictions are serious. Yes, I started this because I was depressed. I was anxious. I wanted to forget the whole accident. I wanted to forget how I got here. Because I wanted to forget. And I don't blame you. But now it's time to get real and say, okay, I need to recover myself. I need to, really do a better job at this. And be the best person I can be using a wheelchair. You're still a person. You're still who you were. It's just you're using a wheelchair. And you got to do things differently. Okay. Seek counseling. Stick to it. You might want to try out 2 or 3 counselors. See which one is best for you. And stick to it. How many sessions? About 6, maybe 8. Take a break, then go back for another 6. That's how long it takes for it to sink into your brain that this is not the route. This is not the method for you to. The wheelchair is not going to go away. The condition's not going to go away. So the addiction is not going to make the wheelchair go away. It's going to destroy you, but the wheelchair is not going to go away. My wheelchair is not going to go away. Yours is not going to go away. Your friend's wheelchair is not going to go away either. So counseling. Seek a support group that uses wheelchairs. If not, create a group if you're strong enough and work on the depression, on the anxiety, on the anger that happens when we have, a disability come about. There's a lot of emotions in play when we end up in a wheelchair. Now, for some of you, it might be temporary. And it might be scary because it's been a year, 2 years, but you know you'll be out at some point. But for a lot of us, not happening. We'll be in that wheelchair forever and ever. And the question is, who do I want to be? And being drunk and being high is not exactly part of the plan, wasn't part of the plan. Can you be angry? Yes, of course. Can you be sad? Yes. Can you be anxious? Crying? Yes, of course. You're free to do that. But to jump into the alcohol, that's a dangerous route. To jump into the drugs. And truly, the drugs are really dangerous these days. And you can't trust your seller. None of them. Fentanyl has entered the market like crazy. And what you're buying could be laced with fentanyl. And then you're gone. The fentanyl, they've made it so strong these days that you're gone. I don't think that was the purpose of your addiction. Your addiction was to hide, was to forget. And you were hoping that it would fix your problem, but it's not going to fix it. It's going to make it worse. It really is going to make it worse. So I really want you to sit yourself down. Look at these situations, to recognize it, own it, be real about it, and start going to counseling. Please. Pretty please. We need you in society as a person. We need you as a person using a wheelchair. You're still a person. You're still the same person you were. It's just that you're using a tool now to get around, to do life, and that is a wheelchair. Is it easy? No, heck no. So I'm hoping out of these steps, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is to seek counseling, that you can get through them. 2, 3, and then 4 is to get into counseling. Recognize, own it, be real, and seek counseling. So take some time out. Start trying to, once you start letting go of the alcohol, the drugs, you need to fill it in with something else. You can't just leave that space. So you need to go out, you need to go to the movies, you need to meet up with friends, you need to have a movie night with friends, you need to fill it in. You can't just leave it empty. You just got to fill it in with positive, healthy things. Plus the counseling. Can't leave the counseling out. And this is really serious, guys and gals. I'm really serious about it, and I'm saying this from the depth of my heart. I'm not a person who has slipped into addiction, but I've seen others who use wheelchairs who have, and it hurts me. It hurts. And I'm sure in your circles, it also has hurt your friends or family, your pet, your neighbor, because it's sad. On top of the fact that you're in a wheelchair, you make the situation even sadder. Is it that you wanted pity or something? You know, all of this is in your hand. Both hands. So, recognize, own it, be real, and seek counseling. Those are the 4 steps. And if you can work on that and start replacing the drinking and the drugs with something healthy. Sports, movies, I don't know. But I know some of you need this video. And I'm hoping, somebody comes across this video and can send it to you. You might not be ready for it, but just try it. Go through it. Think about a plan. Make a plan for yourself how you're going to do this. And the first thing is you need to get the drugs out of your house. You need to get the alcohol out. And then fill it in with something. I don't care with what, but something that's healthy. That won't hurt you. Okay? So I'm not going to go any further. I've said the basics. And then we might come back to this to see how people are doing. If you're doing better, if there's something else we need to say, if there's some other steps, and maybe we'll put in some other steps after this. It's like, what do you do after counseling, Lisa? I could say start living life. But we'll look at this again, and we'll see how you're doing. And if anybody wants to dare to share their situation and how they did, awesome, because then it'll encourage other people to share, yes, I went through that. I went through that thing. I'm better now. Because it is possible. It is possible to get better. It is possible to become the person you've always been, just with a wheelchair, that's all. And your friends might not know that or understand that, but it'll be important for you to approach them and call them, visit them, so that they know, same person, just using a wheelchair. So people around you are going to need some education. Your family loves you just like they did before this. So I'll stop babbling now. Time for you to get down to work. And I'll catch up with you at some point. Take care.